Well, contrast the scenes tonight with those of last night when it was Mali against Nigeria and there was 60,000 packed in here. I guess the entrance fee of what it works out around about 50p, but still a lot, you know, in a country that's this poor, Jerry, and yeah. I suppose the tournament hasn't caught the imagination and people think they've got more to spend their money on. I'm sure they have.
It's also the fact that the host nation's not playing. I think they'll want to come and watch the host nation and support the host nation, but this has been the best 45 minutes I've seen in the tournament so far, no doubt about it. Plenty of entertainment, lots of action, shots at goal, and 2 goals as well, and that's a bit of a record, but things seem to have turned, and I would expect Algeria to come out full of confidence now. They'll be getting G'd up by madjer, their coach. If they continue in the second half the way they finished the first half, you would be fairly confident they'll go on and win the game, but they must improve on their finishing in that final third. And I've got to say, the substitute Akrour has made a huge difference since he came on.
Well, the injury to Ghazi is looking like a blessing in disguise.
Certainly is, certainly is. Still a bit bemused by why Zegdaoud is playing so deep as a sweeper, and with the fact that they're only playing one player up front, and James Deba. I would expect it, certainly him in particular, to push forward a little bit more.
Well, the timings here have been far from perfect. Differing lengths of half times. While we've got a minute and waiting for the players to come out, it's a chance to reflect on the tournament as a whole. There's been all kinds of publicity back in England. Newspapers do have reporters out here talking about the tournament and saying that there aren't enough goals. Of course, it's been ridiculous. No. We still haven't had more than 2 goals in a game.
Absolutely.
No side has scored more than 1 goal in an individual game. Why do you think?
Well, again, I feel the quality of defending is much better. As I said early on, there's less mistakes been made now. I've seen a lot of mistakes in the first half hour, and now we're starting to get goals as a result of it. But I feel the quality of defending's improved. I actually think that in the final third, there's also the lack of a poacher, a goal scorer, who, you know, you get a half a chance, they sniff it out, they put it in the back of the net. There's a lack of that, and the pitch doesn't help as well. When you've got rock hard pitches, the first touch has got to be absolutely superb. But I also took that into consideration and thought that we would get more goals, but final deliveries, free kicks, corner kicks have been disappointing in terms of the final ball into the box, and if they can improve on that, we will certainly get a lot more goals.
But isn't that the aspect of it that's the most amazing, given how many of these players are trained in Europe and play for European clubs?
Yeah.
Not to hold up Europe as perfection, but it's astonishing the amount of times we saw with the Mali game, players in great positions, and yet the final ball, which is stock in trade, isn't it, for footballers, is just
but
been
I
wrong.
think also we have to take into consideration the fact that they're coming from countries like France and Holland and Germany and England, where the conditions, the pitches are very, very soft, and it takes a little while just to get into the swing of things, and also the pressure that's put on these teams, because although Cameroon and Nigeria are the favourites, you've still got teams like Liberia and Algeria and Egypt and what have you, who fancy their chances, you know, to maybe cause an upset, to come in and win here, and it's not impossible.
Abdelhafid Tasfayout was in busy conversation there with Bilal Desiri. Tasfayout, so surprisingly, left out of this starting lineup. There he is on the right of your picture. I wonder if we'll be seeing him at some point. Maybe he'll be used as a shock substitute to come on a little bit later on. You have to feel that at some point he'll feature, Tasfayout.
I would have thought so. I mean, playing his football at Guingamp in France, he's one of the, well, so-called better players, but he didn't particularly impress me in the last game, and obviously that's why he's been left out by madjer.
Bit of publicity there for the George Weah fan club from Lower Nargibi. Tasfayout, double winner in France. At least he was in the squad when Auxerre won the double in '96, along with Taribo West, incidentally. Megdude, the player who obviously doesn't like anyone around him. He's been playing 20 yards behind everyone.
I think he's a little bit short of pace, and he wants to give himself, because, you know, James Deba's got a good turn of speed, and I think he's given himself too much space. He's dropping off so deep that any balls played diagonally into the channels, you're not going to be offside. Now there's the man who I think's turned the game for them, Nassim Akrour. He's been very, very impressive in the 20 minutes that he came on and played.
And his first goal of the tournament, Algeria's first of the tournament. been waiting for the officials, and Divine Weah makes his entrance, as indeed does Lewis Creighton, the goalkeeper rather behind everyone else. I wonder if he's been getting an extra talking to by the coaching staff, extra bit of coaching maybe after his performance in the first, Creighton. He did make one absolutely divine save away to his right.
It was deflected as well from the shot from Kraouche. It was deflected by the head of Saifi, and it was fantastic reflexes, but then the next sort of ball comes in, which is an easy, fairly easy take. He fumbles it.
Dancing on the terraces.
Just thinking, Dave, the more I look at the goal as well, you know, for me, Jimmy Dixon probably could have cleared the ball away, but the goalkeeper, Lewis Creighton, coming out and calling for it, put him off, he stopped, and that allowed Nassim Akrour to actually get in and score the equalising goal. But no doubt George has tried to put them right.
Mr. George, they call him. The figurehead, not just of football in Liberia, but of African football for so many years. His great inspiration as a footballer was Pele, but he himself is so much more than a footballer. Paints in his spare time, and he's a real ambassador for his country and for Africa. He says he desperately wants to win the Nations Cup, but it's looking a little unlikely at the moment. They're going to make a change as well by the looks of things. Liberia, looks like Fale Johnson is preparing to come on, the LRPC Oilers player. Actually played in the previous appearance in the Nations Cup in 1996. And he's twice been league champion in Liberia. Defensive player Johnson. See where he's going to slot in. Certainly warming up. Algeria in the green shirts, kicking from left to right in this second half. No changes for them. The one change in the first half, Akrour, who got the goal just before half-time, replacing Ghazi. Blasted away by Dixon. Now Slatny. Fault for the goal, but effective since then. Here he is again, Slatny.
Oh my goodness. Well, what can we say? And it's one of those where he's probably better taking a chance, taking a touch first before he crosses it. He decides he's going to go for it first time, Dave, and well, not one of his better efforts in. Well, not one of his better efforts in. The substitution is going to be made now.
It's Thomas Kodjo who's being replaced. Defender for defender. Whether Kodjo is carrying an injury, it's a strange time to make a change.
It certainly is.
Seconds into the second half. I wonder why they didn't just switch it at half-time. Wide from Jimmy Dixon. Here is Johnson.
Must have missed something there.
Someone needs attention. Johnson just played it out, and there didn't seem to be any reason to. Now Desiri, curiouser and curiouser. It's away by the substitute Johnson. Kraouche. And the foul by George Weah. Now Saifi.
Oh, great
Lovely ball from Saifi, and Slatny was there, but Akrour took it off him. And now they're arguing. And Slatny has a case.
Slatny should have been left the ball by Akrour. It was on for him to just come and strike it first time. Great ball from Saifi though, Dave, wasn't it? That's the sort of invention the tournament needs. That's why I don't want Algeria to go out.
The tournament would lose one of its outstanding players if Algeria went out in Rafik Saifi.
Well, that's what will happen if they lose this game, because they will not be able to qualify.
If Algeria were to win it, then Liberia would still theoretically have a chance, but would have to beat Nigeria. They did that in World Cup qualifying. It was in the home game. Hadou with the cross, wins the corner. Header away by Dixon. That was the ball from Saifi.
Well, he can see him coming. He should leave it. He's got to leave it. He must know that the chance is there for Slatney to come and strike it.
It's the second corner of the game. It's aimed in the general direction of akrour. Played back in by Hadou. And no danger for Lewis Creighton. George Weah does have coaching assistance, although he is the technical director. Bit of skill there from Sebwe.
Good skill.
And again, another of the Liberians based in Greece. Really successful time at Iraklis before he left when the club was short of money. Actually came to Europe with George Weah to Monaco, Sebwe, in '94.
Great turn there, wasn't it? Super little piece of skill from Sebwe.
Brief glimpse of Jimmy Dixon. He and Roberts and Johnson will have plenty of work to do in the second half. The goal given Algeria a little bit of confidence, because they must have wondered how they were going to score.
Well, I was wondering as well, especially when akrour hit the post. You just felt that Lady Luck wasn't smiling on them, but that all changed, what, 60 seconds later.
Lewis Creighton was actually playing in the German 3rd division before he was thrown out of the club for a lack of discipline. A goalkeeping problem for Liberia. Liberia's two reserve goalkeepers are both elder statesmen, Pewu Bestman and Abraham Jackson. And the reason for that is that 4 other goalkeepers have been disciplined by the Liberian FA for acts, and I quote, incompatible with their status. Make of that what you will.
Well, you know what they say about goalkeepers, they're all crazy anyway, aren't they, Dave?
Yeah, but 4 of them at the same time.
Got an upper reputation to uphold, haven't they? Whoa. It's a bad challenge.
Both down on the ground.
Looks like Dixon's hurt himself as well, Edward Dixon, who made the challenge.
So the referee from Cameroon calls for the stretcher. Dixon, who flew in.
It's Mansouri he's caught.
Mansouri was certainly on the receiving end of the challenge. Seems not as worrying or dramatic as when we had the injury to Belbey in the last Algerian game. Thank heavens that he's okay.
Well, it looks like ribs for Mansouri, and Dixon, I think his shoulder is what he was holding. But I think you're right, Dave. Mansouri looks as if he's come off worse.
Dixon's only a little guy and he really climbed that. Madjer is already thinking about the change. Slimani Raho, the JS Kabylie player, plays his club football in Algeria. He's preparing to come on. Whether that's a direct replacement for Mansouri.
Looks that way, doesn't it? He looks as if he's struggling with his ribs.
Aim towards akrour.
He's done well, hasn't he? He's won the ball in the air, now he's chasing it as well. That's what I'm talking about, support from midfield. You know, you really do wonder when they knock a ball like that, who they think's going to get the knockdown.
He's made a very quick decision about Mansouri, if it is indeed Mansouri to come off. Again, the ball this time from Kraouche was overhit. Problems in the Liberian training camp over money. They're complaining about their bonuses. They threatened to pull out of this game if they weren't paid, and it's not Mansouri.
Slatney. He who made the mistake for the first goal. Obviously the gamble hasn't worked out and the coach has decided to try and change it.
Well, he's taking a gamble on the fitness of Mansouri as well. Mansouri's back out there now. His challenge with Dixon, who's also back on the field. Now weah. I wonder how much of the dispute over money and the reporting of it is to do with politicking surrounding George Weah. He suggests that the current president of the Football Association feels under threat from him. Inevitably the president disagrees, so something they're going to need to work out. You just hope that neither the sport nor the country loses out as a result. Got a great deal to offer, George Weah. Here he is on the ball, trying to offer something on the field. Now Desiri. Kraouche. Moving forward dangerously, aimed at Akrour. Gebra with a touch and the clearance from Roberts.
It's a bad challenge. The referee's going to book him for it.
He's taking action. And the card is for Weah. Deba, who's already been booked, needs to keep his mouth closed.
Well, a few seconds earlier there, Dave, there was a wonderful ball from Kraouche over the top, and I know Akrour's played well, but his first touch, if he gets it right, he scores again for me. He's just come straight down the back of his heel there, George Weah. You got to believe it was accidental.
Good ball in for Creighton to punch.
He's done well on that one, Lewis Creighton. Fantastic delivery from Saifi. Wonderful driven cross.
Now Zizi Roberts. Edward Dixon given away to Akrour. Chance for them to burst forward, and he tried to play it back to Akrour. Up in support it was Kraouche.
Oh, it's a lovely piece of play, and it's just a shame he can't get the ball. He's trying to get his left foot round, he can't get the ball across the 6-yard box.
Throw in for Liberia. Cleared away by Mefta. Referee gives nothing. Now they can break Algeria. Desiri's ball, but way too far in front of the substitute Slimani Raho.
You can see what he's looking to do. There's a lot of space in these flanks now, trying to put the perfect ball into space, and just didn't quite get the angle right. There's Johnson on the ball, the substitute, and there's a challenge now. What's happened there? It looks as if, was it off the ball?
Well, Mefta's gone down.
He has.
George Weah was involved, or he's certainly involved in the argument afterwards. And the referee is over there as well. Difficult to know what happened there. The referee's calling for the stretcher. Was it a clash of heads or something more sinister?
Well, I think George Weah is saying it was accidental or an innocent challenge, but Saifi and others are all pointing the finger at George Weah.
Weah's already been booked, remember. Here it is.
He just runs into his shoulder. He's not looking, and he doesn't move, George Weah. For me, Mefta runs straight into him.
George Weah didn't even know he was there, I don't think.
Well, he's telling them that. I mean, you can see he's having words with Zigdaoud, the central defender.
And the naughty thing about that, Jerry, is that Mefta, who's complaining and joining in, is the one person who knows that he didn't throw the elbow at him.
He wasn't watching where he was running.
Anyway, we continue. Mefta's okay. Away by Raho. Still 1-1 between Liberia and Algeria.
Zizi's looking a bit ragged at the back as well, I gotta say.
Gebro with the throw. Saifi jumped for it. Should be run away by Akrour. Now Edward Dixon. It's a good progress from Dixon down that right side. Really worked hard. And Zegdoud. Sliding challenge came in there from Deba. Kraouche. Little ball forward and the flag stayed down. It's Desiree. Creighton did brilliantly there, the keeper, for all the criticism of him in the first half.
Well, he's redeemed himself, there's no doubt about that. He was out of the block so fast it was untrue. Here's another chance at the other end.
It was Deba closing in and it needed the touch away, but the flag was up.
Have a look here. He is onside, definitely. First touch, not bad. Good goalkeeping though. He comes out, spreads himself. He's looking to go around him, Desiree. It's the same theme from the first half, Dave. All the pressure being applied by Algeria. Mistakes being made time and time again by Liberia, but not punishing them.
We're into the last half hour. It's very well poised, especially when you consider what's resting on it. Win for either side, and it would put them in a great position going into the final games. Now Desiree. Interesting experiment, by the way, on Eurosport for the final games of the Nations Cup. Will be switching from game to game, staying with the one that's more interesting.
Great ball.
Showing them both live for you. This live now is getting exciting. Desiree plays it in. Roberts it was who got back.
Well, they were all queuing up to get back, and again this little man, he's got such a good engine, Desiree, getting forward. And here we go on the counter-attack.
And it's the Prince Dye, the goal scorer for Liberia. Deba made a good run ahead of him. Weah is there as well. Weah's crossed towards James Deba. But as Algeria commit men forward, they're looking vulnerable.
Well, we know about the pace here. James Deba, very, very pacey. Just felt that ball, though, for George Weah was just a little bit overhead. And the crucial period, Mefta had actually fallen as well, the defender.
Fala Johnson, the substitute, now Edward Dixon. Pushing forward is Zizi Roberts to strike one. And always dying away from that left-hand post.
Well, it's a speculative shot. There's no way I can see him scoring from that range. This is the incident again. He runs straight into George Weah.
It's Mefta and Weah. It's Gebro. Now Zizi Roberts, who's now out of position. Kraouche, Desiri. Saifi is loitering at the far post. It was aimed towards him.
First touch was brilliant as well.
He's climbing all over him. And Algeria have the free kick. It's Zizi Roberts again.
It's good play from the linesman, because he's waited to see if he was going to get the advantage, maybe get the cross in where they could have scored a goal. When he saw they couldn't, obviously give the free kick. He put the flag up, and Zizi Roberts gets himself a yellow card. And he's certainly been caught out several times in this game.
Dangerous position. Saifi in the centre. Normally expect him to take it.
It's never 10 yards away, that wall.
Desiri coming across. And it's Tasfaoud, as we expected.
To be fair, Desiri's run himself to a standstill.
Tasfaoud with a striking force than Desiri. Again, the delivery was desperate. Here's Raho. Madjer has played all his cards now. 3 substitutes used. Gebra. Downfield for weah. Can someone find a little bit of quality to get a second goal for either side?
Great ball. Oh.
It's for Raho to chase. Substitute.
To be fair to him, Lewis Creighton, he's been very quick out of the blocks again. Reads the situation well. Keeper sweeper. His starting position's usually around the penalty spot, and as the defence pushes up, he decides whether he can gamble a little bit more.
Now Gebra. Here they come again, Algeria. Raho seeing plenty of it.
Good play.
He's very, very quick, Raho.
Oh!
And managed to drag it away. They both did, but there was no one in the centre.
That is unbelievable. And again, somebody who wants to take a gamble, and here we go at the other end, George Weah.
And they're wide open here, and Weah's there in support, but it might open up. And it was Prince Dye. Oh, what a chance for Liberia.
Unbelievable. End-to-end stuff here. Prince Dye decides to go for the shot. He's got George Weah on the left-hand side. He's got James Devitt the other side. This is great play from Raho. Gets behind the defender, keeps the ball in. Super skills again at the near post, and you just think somebody's got to gamble. Saifi's done well.
Where was Tasfaoud?
Tasfaoud was at the far end of the box, not anticipating, and that's how you score goals. You've got to anticipate. Here's Saifi again.
Saifi trying to thread his way through. Again, the build-up is sublime, but he's been given offside. Akrour. There's going to be a card here. And the card is for Akrour.
Kicking the ball away.
It's a silly booking.
It is a silly booking. It's a silly offside as well.
Halfway through the second half. Best game that we've seen in the tournament this year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Plenty of good play. Plenty of chances, but still only the 2 goals.
Akrour. Now Moulay Hadou. Hadou's up there in support. And it was important that Roberts made that challenge, but he's given it straight away back to Hadou.
Well, ZZ Roberts does well initially, but then he tries to dribble his way out of defence. He's under pressure. He kicks the ball straight out to Hadou, and again, if the delivery's better on that last occasion, they've another chance to score. And that's certainly overhead, isn't it?
Ball forward miss hit, wasn't it? It was Prince Dai. Debba ahead of him.
It's an intriguing game though tactically, because you can see they're absorbing pressure, they're encouraging Algeria to come on to them, and on the counter-attack with George Weah pulling the strings, James Debba and obviously Prince Dai, they look a threat.
Libéria are far from out of it here.
Oh. Are we going to get a winner? That's the question, as we see. Looks like a substitution for
Dixon,
Libéria.
and it's Nyong Nai who's going to come on and replace him. Came on as a substitute in the opening game. John Menyong Yai, the youngster, the 22-year-old, plays for the Minnesota Thunder in the States. Pretty similar player to Dixon, similar height as well.
See that? That's
ZZ Roberts.
It is ZZ Roberts. Do you know he kicked the ball away very quick and wondered did he pull anything?
Roberts receiving attention. 20 minutes left in Bamako. Wide for Raho, who had made an impact, but not that. And they're going to make another change. Looks like Dionysus Sebwe is going to come on for Liberia.
Zizi, I don't think he can continue, can he?
And it is Zizi who's gone off. So Dionysus Sebwe, another who formerly played in the States, formerly for the Minnesota Thunder as well. Played with Richard Goff for the Kansas City Wizards for a spell as well. Learned some good defending tips there. Now Hadou. Again, it was hopeful rather than penetrative.
Both sides have used up their substitutions and just looking to see if they're going to get a winner.
We're looking for the flick on. He's done well to battle and win it. Now, does he have any support? It's arriving here from Prince Dai, and the shot from Kelvin Sebwe!
Oh, what a goal.
Kelvin Sebwe gives Liberia the lead. What a turn-up as Algeria push men forward. It's Liberia who've come and got the second goal. Terrific strike from Kelvin Sebwe.
Well, just look at the part that George Weah plays in this, because he goes for a header, it's knocked down, he battles to win the knockdown, gets himself wide on the left-hand side, puts a great cross in. It's teed up for Kelvin Sebwe, and that is an absolutely fantastic strike. Have a look at it again. Teed up, just look at how he shapes his body, curls it, right foot. There's George Weah's part as he lays it in. And it's set up by Prince Dai, and that's a fantastic strike from Kelvin Sebwe. It's absolutely brilliant. And this is history in the making. One team for the first time has actually scored 2 goals in the one game.
And we've had 3 in the game, which is a first
another milestone.
This year. And George Weah is leading the dancing. And unless they score, Algeria are out of the Nations Cup. They've got 17 minutes. Have they got the inspiration?
Well, I don't know if we'll get the stats in the next 5 or 10 minutes, but the stats will read horribly for madjer, because they've had 3 times as many shots as Liberia. They've had more possession, but they haven't scored more goals. And clinical finishing once again. I think 4 or 5 chances for Liberia, but they found the back of the net twice, and here they come again.
Algeria are rocked by the goal. It's another chance, but this time Deba straight at the goalkeeper. It's going to be open now as Algeria have to push on. Saifi. Classic counter-attacking that was from Liberia.
Oh, he's caught offside again. That's several times now. Nassim Akrour has been caught offside. Widest player, he doesn't need to go early, Dave. He can look along the line, and it's easy for the linesman then to decide. Well, this is just a wonderful strike. Have a look at how much he puts a lot of power into the shot, but a lot of curl. He hits the ball on the outside and gets that spin on it. No chance for the goalkeeper.
Now Rafik Saifi. They need a goal fast here, because even though a draw would technically keep them in the tournament, they have to then go and beat Mali and hope. They need a win, really.
Go and beat the host nation. And that's not going to be easy, not when they've got 60,000 fans screaming, supporting them all.
Hadou trying to burst forward. Another foul. Got plenty of defending to do now, Liberia. Raho in there at the far post. Mefta is forward. Madjer's in there too. All to try and put pressure on Creighton. Driven into the near post, and Creighton held on through a crowd of players there.
He certainly did. Players looking for any bits and pieces coming back up. Great strike from Saifi. Just dips in front of him. You can see Tasfayoud is the player looking for any bits and pieces, and he certainly would have stuck that in the net if he spills it. But this game isn't over yet. We've still got 15 minutes, and I've just got a feeling there's going to be a few more turns and twists.
Saifi now shoved out of it. A couple of these Liberian players are on yellow cards. Must be careful.
That was Oliver McCour.
Raho. Immediately in support is Kraouche. Looked to be overhit. Chased in by akrour, but held by Creighton. Run out of play, just was it, by George Weah. There's Zizi Roberts watching on. Still got something to say though.
Don't push forward, stay back. Let's hang on to this lead. Well, you can imagine, and he's pulled the muscle when he tried to clear the ball on the edge of the box on that last occasion, David. He's actually still kicking the balls from the bench, isn't he?
Another free kick for Liberia. Zegdu not reacting too well to that. They'll take their time as well. 13 minutes left. Liberia, having been under all kinds of pressure, lead Algeria. It's going to be Oliver McCour to take it. It's going to be Oliver McCour to take it. It's an easy catch for the young goalkeeper, Gayawi. Good throw as well. It's Tasfayoud. Now Raho. It's a good ball for Prince Dye. The goalkeeper came out and left a gap there.
Well, he just about got it right on that occasion. The acceleration from Prince Dye, and as he spreads himself, you think he's going to knock it past him. He was looking to put it in the back of the net. Good goalkeeping though from Gawi.
He's conceded two though. Flick on from Weah. Headed back in towards George Weah. Has the chance, Weah.
Wow.
That would have been it. George Weah with half a chance to end it.
Another poor piece of defending from Algeria. They're all appealing for offside. He's miles onside. Fortunately, he goes for the outside of his right boot. If he tries the lob, I think he gets more of an opportunity. He's got a better chance of scoring.
Dionisa Sebwe, the substitute. Very heavily built defender. Swung in, away again by Sebwe. Kelvin Sebwe it is who has the goal. The goal that at the moment is giving Liberia a famous win here. Team that came so close to the World Cup, looking for consolation in the Nations Cup, and that game against Nigeria to come.
What a strike it was as well from Kelvin Sebwe, Dave. That's as good a strike as I've seen in the competition when the finishing's not been of the high standard, but that was brilliant. Here's
now
a chance.
Tasfayout though at the far post. Defender maybe did just enough to put him off.
Well, as it clears the last defender, his first touch looked good, but he was a bit slow off the mark, Tasfayout, and that was a good opportunity, but they've had lots of good opportunities in this game. Here's Raho.
Raho with the corner. Again, dragged hopelessly to the edge of the area. And anywhere will do for Liberia now. Into the last 10 minutes here. Remember, Algeria would be out.
Well, also remember against Mali, they conceded a late equaliser. And here's another opportunity.
Not if he can hit it first time. Now Kraouche. Kelvin Sebwe, but beaten to it. Still it's Algeria with the ball. Kraouche is getting into the centre now.
It's a shame that actually got 2 or 3 players forward in that final third. Needed a better ball. Raho was one of them. It was his ball across, and the volley, well, it was blocked by the defender, and that's something that they've done well. They've got bodies in front. Tasfayout with a shot, and good defending from Liberia, you've got to say.
Won by Kraouche. Saifi been a little quieter in the second half. And away by Dionisa Sebwe.
Anywhere will do. Offside though. Once again for James Deba.
What an achievement by George Weah to take Liberia to their second Nations Cup, take them nearly to the World Cup, take them this far in this tournament. They are within 8 minutes of beating Algeria. Kraouche. Liberia going into this tournament technically and historically the weakest team in it, given their previous record in Nations Cups. Now Raho. Algeria much higher up that list. Raho still has it, and Algeria still have time. Do they have the wherewithal?
Well, they're starting to gamble more and more, and that means they're going to leave space at the other end, and here we go.
Can they use the space? Prince dies in the centre. Now Hadou. Playing as a left winger rather than a left back now. Saifi. Akrour is forward.
Good ball.
And Akrour is in here if he can finish.
Great save.
And Creighton in the second half has been a different goalkeeper.
The game of 2 halves from his point of view. He's made 3 very crucial and important saves. Brilliant saves. Great ball over the top. First touch from Akrour is brilliant. And then the half volley, the keeper comes out, narrows the angle. That's brilliant from Louis Creighton.
They have a corner, Algeria. They might have had an equaliser. Saifi to take it this time. Ballooned up to the far post. Kraouche again with the ball in,
offside.
but the flag against Tasfayout. Got it right there, Liberia.
Oh, I'm not sure about the attempted overhead kick. I think he got that one wrong. Hang on a minute. No, he's onside when the ball's played, Dave. Defender coming out very late. And that's a mistake. Wow. Just as well it didn't end up in the back of the net.
And the little dummy wasn't read by Raho, and he is a man under pressure now, Madjer. Six minutes left for Algeria. Here's the scorer of the second goal, Kelvin Sebwe. And the shot flying in and deflected. George where it was with it. Corner kick for Liberia.
Tremendous power in that effort. Let's have a look. Well, not sure it was going to hit the target, but he didn't half strike it well. Won the corner kick.
Deflection took it from wide to wider. But it's valuable seconds. There's a free header. Just about for weah. Mefta, a little bit of pressure.
I think it's a Mefta at the far post as weah climbs well above him. Just can't direct it down on the target, but again, the threats there on the counter-attack tactically. They know what they've got to do. They're absorbing pressure. They're encouraging Algeria on. Here's another chance.
But it might open up again for them. Oh, it's Tasfayout, and he's hit the post. Abdelhafid Tasfayout coming so close to the equaliser. And this time Creighton was beaten.
Unbelievable.
Twice now they've hit the woodwork.
Unbelievable. I tell you, the chances there's been more chances created in this game than there has in the whole tournament, and yet just if Lady Luck doesn't smile on you, and again they're persevering, but you've got to think that it's not going to be their day.
Kraouche fouled. He's trying to stop him taking it. Deba, and Deba's gone into the referee now. It's Deba and Akrour trying to waste valuable seconds. What can they do with the free kick? Was Tasfayout's volley the last chance? Incidentally, as Tasfayout saw this hit the post, he had his head in his hands and it nearly rebounded back to him.
David, such a great strike. He can't believe it's not gone in. He's hit it clean as a whistle, just like akrour in the first half. Exactly the same post as in the first half, the right-hand post, and again, somebody's smiling on Liberia.
And may yet smile more because it's forward to Prince Dye! That was for the game. And goals scored might yet be important in this group.
Certainly might. Lovely little ball in. It's on from, he's just got to hit the target, and he pushes it wide of the post, and you're right, he should have scored. Should have scored. Oh!
And at the other end, Creighton is forced to come. The whistle has gone.
Tasfayout again. Linesman got the flag up straight away. Another tight decision.
Thrilling game.
It's gone down to the wire. No.
Thrilling game.
It's gone down to the wire, no doubt about it. It's been great entertainment. Tell you what, that's a close decision again. I'm not sure he was offside.
Given what akrour might have made of the rebound.
He's done well in the air. He's won his first share in the air. Good little knockdowns, and suddenly Tasfayout coming on. He's looked to feed off the knockdowns, and he's got on at the end of 2 or 3.
Forward again towards akrour, and he was being pulled back. It's Tasfayout. I wonder what the referee might make of that. But
yellow
it's yellow.
card. Is it Jimmy Dixon?
It's the substitute
Johnson. Fala Johnson joins it. We've had a lot of yellow cards in this game.
Luckily for him, he wasn't one of them. 4 yellow cards for Liberian players so far.
You can see he was beaten. Fala Johnson was beaten, and he had to pull Tasfayout back.
6 yellow cards in all, by the way. Kraouche and Akrour booked for Algeria. Now Tasfayout can certainly hit them from here. So can Saifi. They want the wall back.
Can he avoid the post, Dave? That's the question.
It's called in and he's avoided everything.
Dear.
It was Saifi.
Well, he's got to be disappointed. I mean, he's a quality player. He knows he should do better than that. A shake of the head. He looks to the heavens, but just look at his body shape. He's leaning back. He's trying to get it up and over the wall into the left-hand side of the goal, and that was poor.
There's a minute left now. And it's Tasfayout. Can they conjure an equaliser? It's away and too far in front of Hadou. Been a couple of injuries in this second half, maybe more than the 1 minute of added time. Algeria certainly dominated possession, but it's Libéria who got the goal. They really stuck at it in the second half, George Weah's Libéria.
Very dogged and determined, stuck to the game plan. It's paying dividends at the minute. But when you look at the stats in terms of shots, well, it will make pretty incredible reading, I'm sure. I reckon 3 times as many shots for Algeria, but they find themselves 2-1 down. A little bit of misfortune, poor finish in a combination, and also got to say a super second half performance from Luis Creighton has meant that they're losing 2-1.
3 minutes of added time. 3 minutes for Algeria to save themselves in this Nations Cup. This would be a second defeat and this would be all over. Brave challenge there by Kraouche. Dogged running from Tasfayout, and Raho's offside.
My goodness.
Their assistant down there has been called into action plenty of times in this second half.
Yes, Raho's offside. There's no doubt. He's right in front of him. He can't miss him.
Creighton, as far as possible, will do. Header by Madjer. And in his eagerness, I thought it was a foul the other way.
Obstruction. It's how the referee's seen it.
It's a final chance to throw it forward for Algeria. Away though. Well away by Dixon. Now Fala Johnson, the substitute. It's Kelvin Sebwe's second half goal that's given Liberia the advantage here. Given the way the first games went, a real turn-up. Still Algeria have a chance!
Oh, what a goal!
Oh, and an absolutely magnificent goal! Nasreddine Kraouche has kept Algeria alive in the Nations Cup. What a strike, what an equaliser. Algeria have the second goal and it's 2-2.
Well, he hit the post in the first half with a fantastic strike, and they deserve to get something out of this game. They don't deserve to be eliminated, and they can breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief. Frustration on the Liberia bench, but surely they can't deny that Nasreddine Kraouche deserves, and that is an unbelievably good strike. Fantastic strike at the vital moment, and that looks like James Deba, who's flat out on his back. He can't believe it in injury time. They've conceded an equaliser similar to the Mali game.
Absolutely extraordinary strike. Kraouche has done it for them.
Have a look at this. That is absolutely breathtaking. What a great strike that is.
Well, we said Mboma's for Cameroon in the first game was the goal of the tournament, almost certainly, but that's not far away.
Well, they get better. Each goal's got better for me. I'll tell you what, I thought Kelvin Sebwe's goal was a cracker, but that is incredible.
Seconds left now, and there's the final whistle. The last seconds of the game. Nasreddine Kraouche has kept Algeria alive in the Nations Cup. It changes the group, and now with Algeria to play Mali, they'll feel they have a chance of qualifying. An unbelievable game. Heartbreak for Liberia. The Nations Cup has come alive with a cracking game, and it's finished Algeria 2, Liberia 2. Well, it had to come, Jerry, didn't it?
It had everything. You know, we were expecting it maybe earlier than this, but this has been a sensational game. Great quality. The goal.
But the story from Bamako is that we've had goals. Finally, the drought is over. 4 in one game. How spoilt we've been. We just hope that this points the way now towards the rest of the tournament. Highlights tonight coming up for you as well from the games earlier on today. Cameroon, Ivory Coast, Egypt, Tunisia. That's coming up at 23:45, 10:45 on British Eurosport. But Nasreddine Kraouche is the man who's provided the story here for Algeria. Their fans cannot believe it, nor can poor Liberia's players. The final score, 2-2 from Jerry and myself. Goodbye.